The story begins with a guy named Bear, who is practicing with a cafe girl about how to confess his feelings to his longtime crush, Nikki, but his friend Ian saying it is the cringiest confession he has ever heard. The cafe girl actually finds Bear's awkward confession sweet and suggests that he should buy Nikki a nice gift. Ian interrupts and says, Nikki isn't the kind of girl who cares about gifts. After the girl leaves, Ian tells Bear that he should call Nikki by her nickname, Freaky Nikki. Bear immediately refuses because Nikki absolutely hates being called that. Ian then encourages Bear to ask Nikki out for drinks that very day. However, Bear wants to wait until their weekly trivia night, thinking it would be a more relaxed and comfortable time to ask her out. Ian quickly shuts down the idea. He doesn't want Bear turning their trivia night into a date and tells him to ask Nikki some other time. When Bear returns home, he is devastated to find his cat has died after accidentally swallowing his pills. Later that night, while scrolling through his phone, Nikki calls him to go over their plans for the evening. Bear initially declines due to his grief, but when Nikki mentions she is quitting the job they share, he changes his mind and agrees to come out. Meanwhile, during the call, Nikki's crystal necklace accidentally slips off her neck and disappears down a drain. Hoping to surprise her, Bear visits an occult shop to find a replacement crystal necklace for Nikki. Nothing catches his eye until he spots a strange wooden figurine called the Wish Willow. The shopkeeper explains that whoever breaks the toy in half will be granted a single wish. However, she tells him not to come back complaining afterward because everyone who buys it eventually comes back upset, and not because the toy is a scam. That night, Bear, Ian, Nikki, and Sarah meet up at a bar. Bear repeatedly tries to get Nikki alone, even following her to the bar to confess his feelings, but every time someone interrupts them. During the night, Sarah is the only friend who learns that Bear's cat has passed away. When Nikki decides to head home early and asks Ian for a ride, Bear quickly steps in and offers to drive her instead. During the trip, Nikki finds out about his cat and comforts him. She also tells him that she is quitting the place where they both work because she wants to focus on her writing career. The conversation shifts to their friends, and Nikki points out that Sarah clearly has a crush on Bear, though Bear insists he only sees Sarah as a friend. Nikki then casually mentions that whenever she has a crush on someone, nobody ever seems to notice. Sensing his chance, Bear tries to ask Nikki out, but the words get stuck in his throat. As Nikki is about to leave, Bear jokingly calls her Freaky Nikki. Annoyed by the comment, Nikki turns to him and asks directly, "Do you like me?" Even then, Bear is unable to answer. After Nikki leaves, Bear takes out a Wish Willow, breaks it in half, and makes a wish that Nikki loved him more than anyone else in the world. As Bear is about to leave, he notices Nikki standing outside her house, staring at him. She walks up to his car and unexpectedly invites him inside, noticing that he must be upset about losing his cat. Confused by her sudden change in behavior, Bear looks down at the Wish Willow toy in his car and asks if she is okay. For a second, Nikki seems to realize she is acting weirdly, but then she instantly forgets about it and gets right into Bear's car and bursts into tears. Nikki reveals that her father has terminal cancer and she doesn't want to be alone. The two head back to Bear's house, where Nikki happily remarks that the place smells like him. Bear politely offers her his bed while he takes the sofa, but Nikki insists that he sleeps in the bed with her. Bear hesitates at first, but he agrees after she insists. Nikki then shocks Bear by taking off her shirt. On the bed, she moves closer to him and they start kissing. Suddenly, Nikki snaps back to reality and pulls away in fear. She quickly apologizes, saying she is having a panic attack, which freaks Bear out. Since he can't sleep, Bear searches the internet for the Wish Willow. He finds online threads where some people claim it's real, while others call it just an urban legend. When he gets up, he finds Nikki awake. She begs him to come back to bed, so he does. The next morning, Bear wakes up and sees a creepy ritual set up with his dead cat. Nikki claims it is just a memorial, but Bear is completely freaked out by it. At work, Bear and Nikki arrive together. Ian immediately pulls Bear aside to find out what happened the previous night. Bear explains that Nikki suddenly confessed her love, but her behavior is incredibly strange and she keeps staring at them from the counter. Bear shares everything, including her dad having cancer, the kiss, and her sudden panic attack, though he hides the truth about the Wish Willow. Ian is highly skeptical about the cancer excuse because Nikki was never close to her father. Ultimately, Ian suggests that Nikki is either under extreme stress or behaving this way because she overdosed. After work, Nikki sits in Ian's car without saying a word to Bear. Later on the phone, Ian tells Bear that Nikki seemed completely normal during the ride, but mid-conversation, someone knocks on Bear's door. It is Nikki. She explains that her strange behavior from the previous night was just because she was high on drugs. shrugs. She then tells Bear she knows he has feelings for her. Bear is still too shy to admit it, so he asks if she likes him instead. Nikki says yes and tells him she loves him too. From that night on, they officially started dating and became totally obsessed with each other. However, their friends are skeptical. Ian feels something is off, and Sarah is clearly upset about the sudden romance. One evening, while they are having dinner at a restaurant, Bear asks Nikki how her dad is doing, but she quickly changes the subject. Right then, Ian calls Bear repeatedly. When Bear finally answers, a shaking Ian reveals that Nikki's dad is completely fine and does not have cancer. A shaking Ian reveals some shocking news. Nikki's dad is completely fine and does not have cancer. Furthermore, just a few weeks ago, Nikki told Sarah that she only saw Bear as a little brother. Hearing this, Bear slowly walks back to the table. Nikki hands him a gift, explaining it is a tiger's eye crystal that belonged to her mother to give him confidence. She adds that she loves him more than anyone else in the world. Looking at her, Bear directly asks if her dad really has cancer. Instantly, Nikki's smile vanishes. She stares at him blankly, repeatedly muttering, "No, no." She starts crying, upset that he ruined their nice date. Bear manages to calm her down and agrees that nothing matters to him just to comfort her. The next morning, before 4 a.m., Bear wakes up to find Nikki curled up in the corner, shaking and crying. She screams, "Why don't you love me as much as I love you?" He begs her to come back to bed, but she tells him to go to sleep. He does, but she wakes him up again with a scream, standing in front of him with a vase she claims is for his dead cat before lying down next to him. The following morning, Bear looks in the bathroom mirror and realizes someone cut his hair while he was sleeping. He gently confronts Nikki, telling her it is weird and she can never do it again, and also talks about last night, saying she really scared him. Nikki says she is embarrassed and tells him sorry, saying she had a bad dream. She then hands Bear his lunchbox. When Bear tries to leave for work, he discovers the front door has been completely taped shut from the inside. He manages to force it open and leaves. Inside, Nikki stands totally frozen, staring after him with that same terrifying smile, and she even pees herself right where she stands. At work, Bear opens the lunchbox Nikki packed for him. Inside, he finds several photos of himself that Nikki had secretly taken without his knowledge. As Bear eats, Sarah sits with him and starts talking about Nikki. She admits she finds it really strange how Nikki went from calling Bear little brother to suddenly being deeply in love with him. Sarah tells him that she is worried about him and doesn't want to see him get hurt. While they are talking, Sarah notices a note that Nikki slipped into the lunchbox. The note is about Bear's dead cat. In that horrific moment, Bear realizes that the sandwich he is eating was made by Nikki using the meat of his dead cat. Bear instantly feels sick and immediately throws up. After work, Ian asks Bear to give him a ride home. During the drive, Ian confronts Bear. He accuses Bear of taking advantage of Nikki's unstable mental state and points out how unhealthy their sudden relationship seems. Bear argues that he isn't taking advantage of her and that she is the one pursuing him, but Ian is unconvinced. Ian then invites Bear to a party that night, but insists it is a boys' night, meaning Nikki cannot come, but adding that he will ask Sarah to come to the party. After Ian leaves, Bear calls the customer support number on the Wish Willow box. The representative casually reveals that the love created by the wish isn't real, it's a curse. When Bear begs to alter or cancel the wish, the representative explains that it is impossible. Nikki will remain trapped in this madness forever, and the only way it ends is if Bear dies. Then the representative asks if he wants to speak to Nikki, and Bear suddenly hears Nikki screaming horribly in the background of the call. When Bear gets home, he finds Nikki covered in sweat and vomit, standing in the exact same spot, claiming she was just waiting for him. As she goes to shower, Bear asks if she really cooked his cat for his lunch, but she avoids answering. When Bear mentions the party and explains she can't go because it's a boys' night, Nikki immediately has a massive screaming meltdown. She claims Sarah told her she was going too. Helpless to stop her outburst, Bear gives in and tells Nikki she can come along. Later, Bear and Nikki arrive at Ian's party while everyone is playing a game. At first, things seem fine, but Nikki soon makes everyone uncomfortable by laughing way too loud and long at a joke. A few rounds later, Bear gets a dare to kiss the person sitting to his left, who happens to be Sarah. The moment Nikki hears this, she stands up, calmly walks over, and pulls Sarah's chair away so she can sit next to Bear instead, ready to take the kiss. Immediately after, Nikki starts screaming at the group, telling them they are all going to die because none of them have ever felt real love like she feels for Bear. As everyone sits in shocked silence, Nikki suddenly smiles and claims she was joking. But a second later, Nikki snaps back to reality. In a sudden panic, she grabs a bottle bottle and repeatedly smashes it against her own face. The party instantly ends in total chaos. Bear rushes her to the hospital, but they are refused care, leaving Bear with no choice but to take her back home. Once they return, Nikki notices Bear is upset and tries to comfort him. When Bear goes toward the bathroom, she asks if she can wait right outside the door, making things feel even stranger. Finally, Bear decides to confront her directly. He asks why she is acting like this, tells her she is terrifying everyone, and demands to know if her feelings are even real. Nikki just smiles and replies, "Yeah, I'm your freaky Nikki," which only makes Bear feel worse. Bear admits that while he always wanted to be with her, he didn't want it like this. He tells her their relationship is no longer healthy and asks her to go home for just one night so they can have some space. Hearing this, Nikki breaks down crying. Bear explains that he doesn't want this version of her. He just wants her to be herself again. He finally realizes her feelings are completely unnatural. Suddenly, Nikki begins walking backward toward the bedroom with her feet twisted unnaturally. She tells him not to be scared and promises she will never hurt him. Terrified, Bear tells her to just get some sleep and says he is going to spend the night at Ian's house. This upsets Nikki even more. However, she threatens to kill herself unless he sleeps with her. Exhausted by everything, Bear eventually gives up and falls asleep right beside her. Later that night, Bear is awakened by a text from Sarah asking him to meet her at the park because she has something important to tell him. As he quietly slips out of bed, Nikki murmurs in her sleep. This time, the real Nikki is struggling from beneath the curse. She whispers, "Please kill me." Shocked, Bear asks what is so terrible about being with him, and Nikki weakly replies that she has never truly been with him, begging him again to end it before falling silent. Confused, Bear leaves to meet Sarah. At the park, Sarah asks how things are going. Still trying to rationalize the madness, Bear brings up the story about Nikki's father being sick, but Sarah completely disagrees. She then reveals that she received a letter from art school and wanted to open it with Bear because he is so important to her. Before opening it, she drops a bombshell. For the past 2 years, Nikki and Ian had been in an on-and-off casual relationship. Sarah explains that, according to Ian, Nikki might just be using Bear to get back at him, adding that Bear deserves someone far more stable. Bear asks, "Someone like you?" Before Sarah can even answer, Nikki suddenly rushes out of the darkness. She grabs Sarah and begins violently slamming her head against a brick with such horrific force that Sarah is instantly killed. Traumatized, Bear is left completely frozen in silence. After Sarah's death, Nikki acts completely normal. She tells Bear she is sorry he had to witness the murder, but insists they can fix it together, even blaming him for what happened. Terrified, Bear helps her get rid of the evidence. Afterward, he opens Sarah's letter and discovers she was accepted into art school. Overwhelmed with guilt and grief over her ruined future, Bear rushes back to the occult shop to get another Wish Willow. He begs the shopkeeper to reverse the wish for him, but he explains that he already used his own wish, and Bear learns that each person only gets one wish in their lifetime. Desperate, Bear grabs a new Wish Willow and tries to wish that Nikki would only love him as a friend, but the toy refuses to break. With no other options, Bear goes to Ian and confesses everything: the wish, the toy, and how it drove Nikki insane. Ian doesn't believe him. To prove it, Bear hands Ian a new Wish Willow and tells him to wish that Bear's original wish never happened. Instead, Ian selfishly wishes for $1 billion. Moments later, money actually begins falling from the sky, proving to Ian that the magic is completely real. Then Bear returns home and is horrified to discover Sarah's bare, dead body, which has been arranged in a disturbing display by Nikki. Desperately tries to convince Nikki to make another wish that could undo everything he wishes for. However, Nikki is completely unstable. She screams that Bear doesn't love her enough and starts hurting herself. The situation quickly spirals out of control, and during the chaos, Nikki shoots Ian and kills him. To stop her madness, Bear promises Nikki that he loves her and that they will be together forever. Nikki immediately calms down. Bear then excuses himself to the bathroom, secretly stealing Nikki's gun on the way. Inside, he remembers what customer support had told him: the curse will only end when he dies. Unable to bring himself to use the gun, he swallows all of the pills that previously killed his cat. A few moments later, he tries to force himself to vomit the pills, but then he suddenly smiles, walks back to Nikki, and kisses her. It is then revealed that Nikki had secretly found the one Wish Willow and made her own wish, that Bear to love her. But as the pills take effect and Bear collapses to the floor, crying, Nikki asks Bear what he has done and prepares to take her own life to join him. But at that exact moment, Bear dies, and the curse instantly breaks. The real Nikki suddenly returns to her normal self, and she breaks down in absolute horror as she slowly remembers all the terrible things she did while under the spell, and the movie ends. And that wraps up Obsession. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell for more chilling movie stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.